I never believed in ghosts. Not really. I'd heard the stories, of course, but I always chalked them up to overactive imaginations and superstition. That was until I moved into the old Victorian house on Holloway Street, a house with a history as dark as the shadows that lurked in its corners. It started with the mirror. I found it in the attic, hidden beneath a thick sheet of dust and neglect. An antique, full-length mirror, its frame made of ornate black wood, curling like ivy around its edges. It was beautiful, yet something about it unsettled me. The glass was oddly clear, almost unnaturally so, as if it absorbed the light rather than reflecting it. I should have left it there, but I didn't. The first night I brought the mirror downstairs and set it against the wall in my bedroom, I heard the whispers. At first they were faint, soft murmurs just at the edge of perception, like the wind through the trees. I convinced myself it was my imagination. Then they grew louder. By the second night, I could make out words, hollow, distant voices calling my name. James. James. I sat up in bed, my heart hammering. The room was dark, but I could see the mirror standing in the corner, its surface shimmering faintly despite the absence of light. I turned on the lamp. The whispers stopped. Was I dreaming? Maybe the stress of moving was getting to me. I told myself it was nothing and went back to sleep. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. On the third night I saw it. It started with a shadow in the mirror, one that didn't belong to me. I was brushing my teeth, and when I glanced at my reflection, there was something else there, a dark figure standing just behind me. My breath caught in my throat, and I spun around. Nothing. But when I looked back at the mirror, the figure remained. Tall, featureless, its head slightly tilted as if studying me. I staggered back, my pulse pounding. This was impossible. I wiped my eyes, blinked hard, but it was still there, standing just beyond the glass. Then it moved, a slow, deliberate step forward. My reflection did not move with it. The air in the room turned icy. My breath came in quick, shallow gasps. I reached for the mirror, intent on turning it around, hiding its surface from view. And then, a whisper directly in my ear. "Let me out," I screamed. I wanted to get rid of it. I should have smashed it then and there. But something stopped me, some invisible force, a weight in my chest that made it impossible to move. Instead, I covered it with a sheet and shoved it into the closet. That night, I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the figure. It was burned into my mind, etched into my thoughts like a brand. The whispers continued, muffled now, coming from inside the closet. James. James. By the fifth night, I was unraveling. The air in the house had become thick, suffocating. The shadows grew deeper, stretching unnaturally across the floor and walls. The mirror's presence was seeping into every part of my life, turning my home into a waking nightmare. Then came the dreams. Visions of a dark, endless corridor lined with mirrors, each one reflecting something twisted and wrong. And in the distance, the figure waited, watching, waiting for me. I had to know. I had to understand what was happening. I started researching the house, the mirror, anything that could explain the horror unraveling around me. What I found chilled me to the bone. The mirror wasn't just an antique, it was a prison. Years ago, a man named Elias Crowley had lived in this house, a reclusive scholar obsessed with the occult. He had dabbled in dark rituals, attempting to open doorways to other realms. The mirror, it seemed, was one such doorway, and something had come through. The records spoke of strange occurrences, of people disappearing, of Crowley himself vanishing without a trace. The house had stood empty for years before being sold, passed from owner to owner, each one leaving shortly after moving in. I knew then that I had made a terrible mistake. I had freed whatever was inside the mirror. The final night I decided to destroy it. Armed with a hammer, I approached the mirror. My hands trembled as I pulled off the sheet, revealing the glass beneath. And there it was, the figure, no longer a mere shadow but fully formed, staring at me with hollow, endless eyes. Its lips twisted into something that might have been a smile. "Let me out," it whispered again. This time the voice came from my own throat. I swung the hammer. The glass shattered, shards exploding outward, slicing into my skin. A wind howled through the room, the air thick with the sound of wailing, of something ancient and hungry being set free. The lights flickered, the walls trembled, and then silence. I gasped, blood dripping from my hands, my reflection fractured into 1,000 jagged pieces on the floor. The mirror was broken, but I wasn't free. Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Nightmares Radio. If you enjoyed this spine-chilling story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more terrifying tales. Your support helps keep the nightmares alive. Let me know in the comments. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you? I might feature your story in an upcoming video. And remember, if you dare, share this video with a friend if you think they can handle it. Until next time, stay safe.